What's it like living as a female expat in Asia? The series White Lotus made it look very glamorous indeed, but is it really like that in real life? Well, if you've ever had any questions about being an expat in Asia, you're in the right place, because my name is Wendy, and for more than 3 decades, I've lived and worked in 5 different countries in Asia, and I still live in Asia and work in Asia in Thailand. Today, I want to talk about the 5 very important things that you need to think about before you make your move. Because even though it looks quite simple, lots of people do it, and it is a great lifestyle, there are some practicalities that you need to take on board. The first thing you need to think about before you make any big move to Asia is your visa situation. What sort of visa are you going to come and live in Asia on? Are you coming to work? Then you need to understand the local work environment. Can you get employment in the country that you would love to live in? Or are you going to retire? So what's the retirement visa restrictions? Do you need to have a certain amount of money in the bank? Do you need to buy a property? Is there a limit to your retirement visa? Are you going to come on an education visa where you're going to learn something new in that country and there's an allowance for that? Are you a digi-nomad and you're going to be earning money offshore? Now, there's lots of digi-nomad visas available now in lots of different countries in Asia, so maybe that's an option for you. But the most important thing you need to understand is what is your visa status, and you need to think about that before you come, because sometimes you need to apply for the visas before you come to the country, even if you've visited many times. That's thing number one. The other thing you really need to think about very carefully is the healthcare situation. Do you have health insurance? Many times the visa requires an amount of health insurance attached to it. Where are you going to get your health insurance? If the visa doesn't require health insurance, what's going to happen to you if you get unexpectedly sick or you're hurt in an accident? So think very carefully about health insurance. If you're from a country like Australia, New Zealand, or the UK, you're used to public health. There is public health in all places in Asia as well, but it might not be to the standard that you're accustomed to. So you need to think, okay, do I need to have private insurance? How much insurance? And what am I going to be insured for? And is it part of my visa requirement? It's very important, especially if you're above a certain age, because as we age, things get more difficult. And actually, the visas sometimes have restrictions on age as well. If you're over 70, for example, and you need to get insurance, that can be quite tricky. The third thing you need to think about it, and it's all related to that, of course, is taxation and financial doings, if you like. So if you're still earning a passive income from a property in your home country, or you are a digi-nomad, or anything at all to do with money, please find out what the laws are and what you can do about minimizing your taxation if you're going to move to a country in Asia. Some countries like America have quite a complicated system where you're paying tax in the States and you're also paying tax here, or wherever here is, by the way. But some countries are a bit more flexible. Sometimes you become a non-resident in your home country, and so there's a different tax status there. Keep in mind that, like for in Australia, though, that may affect your Medicare, so something like that. So think about what's going to happen if I'm earning money and I'm living in this other country. The next 2 things are a little bit of the more softer skills, but super important. Adaptability to your new place. So there's another video where I talk about the 3 stages that you go through as an expat, that every expat goes through, where you're in love with a place, you hate a place, and then you kind of settle somewhere, still loving it, or going home. That happens you can check that video out also on this channel. But most definitely, adapting to a lifestyle as an expat is not the same as being on holiday. Don't kid yourself into thinking that just because you love a place and you've visited many times, you even know people who live in this country and you can't wait to get there and join in their lifestyle. But the truth is, when you're actually living in a place day to day, things are a little bit different. So that's something that you really need to think about. Think about how you're going to adapt. Do you start to take language lessons before you arrive, or can you wing it when you get here? Is English not really a problem because the country that you're moving to, English is very common? And the last thing that you need to think about, and this is also super important, and I talked about this one in other videos as well, is how you're going to settle into this new community by making new friends and finding your tribe. It always takes time, and I think it takes longer than you expect, unless you're very, very lucky. But your tribe is here, but you need to think about that. Are you going to suffer from loneliness? There is an amount of grieving that takes place around things like, particular holidays, whether it's Christmas or the Melbourne Cup. If you're from Australia, believe me, there are Melbourne Cup things all the time, or things that you're going to miss from home. And this starts to affect your mental health. So you need to think about how you're going to be, how you're going to find your tribe, understanding that you will feel lonely, even surrounded by a group of new people, because it takes some time to adapt. But once you've thought about those 5 really important things before you make that big leap, pack up everything and move to a new place, if you get that organized in your mind, if you get that sorted, then I think you're going to be okay, because the expatriate lifestyle is really terrific, and not for everybody, but it's worked for me for a very long time. And if you do come over to Thailand, make sure you get in contact. Now, if there's something that I haven't covered in this video, if you'd like to have some more details about that, please do drop a comment below. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And for another video, maybe about the topics that we've talked about, or something completely different, like going through a wet market, please click on one of the tabs that comes up. Hope you have a great day. Bye.